Okay, I've been asked to look at a leaky tap today, and here it is. As you can see, it is quite leaky. Drip, 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 drip. If I tighten the handle up, it doesn't stop it dripping at all. Obviously, if I turn it the other way, then water does start flowing, so it's functional in that respect. Okay, so what happened there was just by doing that, I caused some of, well, little black bits just plopped out of the tap, which I suspect is the washer disintegrating further. So as you can see, it's not even dripping now, there's an actual constant stream. So better get this sorted now. So here we are downstairs. There's no isolation valve on that sink, so we need to turn the water supply off to the whole house using the stopcock here. So remember, righty-tighty, so turn it all the way to the right until it doesn't go any further. So keep turning. There we go, it's stopped now. You don't need to force it, just make sure it goes all the way around basically. But then double check by turning on the kitchen tap, and there's nothing coming out, so we're good there. Right, here we are, back upstairs now. Turn this tap on again, of course. Nothing's coming out, which is great. That's exactly what we want. It means we can work on it safely now without causing a flood.
It's a bit grim in the bottom of the sink, but here you can see some fragments of a washer that have actually plopped out and fallen through the tap, and that's why clearly it's not getting a seal and it's running continuously.
Right, so here are the tools we need for this job. Obviously we need to replace the washer, so I've got a box of washers here which I got off of Amazon for about £7. There you go. There's probably a lifetime supply in here for me, and the ones we're probably going to need are these ones with the tiny holes in for taps. Don't use the ones with the big holes because they're for hoses really. And we need a tool like an adjustable wrench to actually undo the tap. This one's probably bigger than it needs to be, but it can be small if you want, as long as the jaws actually open wide enough. I've gone for a long one though. This is a 300mm one, just so I can get a nice amount of torque, because I don't know how hard it's going to be to undo this tap given that it was probably installed in the 70s. So I'm using this thing, also called a tap back nut spanner. It's 32mm at one end and 27 on the other. I'm not going to use it as it would normally be used. I'm just going to use it to slide over the tap and hold it, stop it rotating when I undo the nut. Yeah, so that's potentially useful. Also got a couple of screwdrivers, just normal flathead screwdrivers. Might need these, I'm not sure yet. Let's see how it goes. Right, forgot to say, also useful to have some wire wool, because as we're taking everything apart anyway, we might as well rub it down with the wire wool to get rid of any crud that's left in there. Right, so let's try prising the top off the tap with the flathead screwdriver. Okay, so there's not actually a screw under here like I was expecting. Most taps do, so perhaps this one just lifts off. Yep, there we go. Should have just tried that first. Right, so we can put that thing back in now. Just pushes in. Boop, there we go. Right, so we're going to be undoing the silver coloured part, not the copper part above it. Okay, so the reason the back nut spanner is so handy is because as we're turning this, we don't want to be turning the tap at the same time, because if that happens, it's going to start twisting the pipes beneath and probably break something and cause a leak, and we don't really want that to add to our problems. I can fix a dripping tap, not a leaky pipe. Right, so this is just a piece of cardboard, toilet roll cardboard. Going to slide that inside the tap back nut spanner, just to protect the chroming on the tap more than anything else really. So that should slide over nicely now. Yep, cool. Okay, so then we get our adjustable spanner as well. There we go. Open it up a little bit. And then hopefully we can open this Oh, that was probably easier than I thought it would be. Right, undo it a few more goes. Right, I think we can take those away now. Probably finish it off by hand. Yeah, there we go. So you can already see there's a bit of green discoloration, which is probably from the copper piping. We can wipe that off with the wire wool in a bit. So here's the actual washer. You can see there's two on this particular piece of tap. The bottom one is completely disintegrated, so you can see why it was dripping or, you know, flowing away now. So yeah, that's the bit we need to replace. Okay, so we just pull this off, I think. Yeah, right. Okay, so that's just crumbled in half, and it feels a bit icky as well. Okay, so that's clearly not a good washer. Problem with turning off the water supply is you can't wash this stuff off your hands now. Okay, right. So this other washer looks fine to me. It's intact. It's not really the washer which causes the seal to take place anyway. It's just acting as a spacer, really. So we'll just stick a new washer on top of that one. Right, so here's one from my little box. It looks about right sort of size. It's got this hole. So this is just a plastic lug on top of the thing here. So we don't undo anything. We just push this one over the top of it by the looks of it. So let's try that. Pop. Yep. Cool. Right. So that's almost ready to go in. Let's just clean the thread out a bit with some wire wool. And then also have a little feel around inside the tap itself. I can feel there's some lumpy bits of washer in there, so just loosen those out, get them out if you can. Have a little scrub around with the wire wool as well. Okay, now you're ready to screw this back on. Make sure the thread's in the right way before you start tightening it. There we go. Okay, there is a rubber seal there, so you don't have to do this too tight really. Just tight enough for the seal to actually take effect. But just in case, I'm going to use the tap back nut spanner again just to hold the tap steady while I tighten this a little bit. Okay. That's probably enough, I think. Yeah. Okay, right, so now we need to do is pop the tap back on top, or the handle rather. There we go, plop. Nice. We can throw away the yucky bits of disintegrated washer now. Make sure the tap is turned off. Well, okay, so it goes both ways nicely. Make sure it's off though before you go back downstairs. And then turn the water supply back on by turning it all the way to the left. And then, pro tip, turn it back just a tiny bit, because that means years down the line when you need to use it again, it'll stop it seizing so easily. Right. Let's go back upstairs then. Okay, so the tap's working now, and hopefully if we turn it off, it should stop dripping. Perfect, job's a good one.